speak about this after sex glow that maybe you've experienced. Like you just had this amazing lovemaking session. Let me put the screen bigger so I can see all of it. You had this amazing lovemaking session and you feel like glowing, you feel super happy, and you're going out in the street and people seem to notice it. Or maybe you even notice that like other people are starting to hit on you. Not even right after, but maybe even sometimes until the days after. And people are like, what did you just do? And you can have this giggle, or like maybe you're like you don't admit it, or maybe you say it like, wow, I just had amazing sex. And when you say it, that it something happens to other people. It's like, oh, you just had amazing sex? Like really? Oh, tell me about it. Like it lifts the energy in a room, in a conversation, like a group of girls coming together and talking about like that one girl that had amazing sex and everybody wants to know the details. Do you know how it lifts everybody up? There's like an energy that radiates out. And it happened this morning because on Monday morning I always do a practice which is called Yoni Hour. And this morning there were about 15 women in the group, and we do practices to nurture ourselves, to be in touch with our yoni, to be in touch with our body. Often like breast massage is included. And before we start, like we just do a round of like how everybody's feeling and why they're in the space. And there was this one woman that shared, she was like, I feel amazing because I had an amazing Valentine's Day and had such amazing sex with my partner, and she was just glowing and radiating, and all the other girls in the room were just like, ah, like everyone is excited. It just lifts up a certain energy. So there's an afterglow that can happen after sex. And if you have this, I'm sure that each and every one of you has experienced this at least one time in their life, either from yourself or from somebody else. And you notice how in that moment, either you or the other person, something is unblocked. You feel more free, you feel more empowered, you feel more excited about everything in life. There's like this energy that is unblocked, and you go to work with a smile. Like you walk around like something is showing, something is shining, something is glowing, because the sexual energy can block us in a way that we don't feel so in touch with ourselves. Like when the sexual energy is blocked, we might feel a lot in our head. We might feel connected with the worries. We might feel like, oh, I really don't feel like going to work today. We might not feel so connected with ourselves, but when we had this amazing lovemaking session, then all of that suddenly lifts. Yeah, what happened is that it can often lift only for a short amount of time. It's like everyday life comes back in and this afterglow of sex seems to disappear. It's like, oh, you need to have sex another time so that it comes back. But I want to talk more about like the disappearing, but before that, I invite you to feel like, how does it feel when you have this after sex glow, you had an amazing lovemaking session, your body feels fully open, you radiate it out to other women? Do you notice that you're shifting and changing something in the frequency within yourself, as well as in the women or the people, the man around you? And this is the power of the sexual energy. Because you connect with the sexual energy. There was an amazing lovemaking, also on a physical level, like hormones shifted, changed, like physically things are happening. Certain hormones are released, you physically feel more energized. Energetically, you start to radiate something. You start to radiate an energy out that infiltrates in the field around you. Emotionally, mentally, you're shifting because you go in a more uplifted state. You attract more happy emotions to you. And on a spiritual level, if you have access to that, there's a deeper connection that is happening with yourself. So you getting in touch with your own pleasure and your own sexuality is actually one of the most amazing things you can do, because it's you connecting with yourself, and from that place you radiate outwards and you create this ripple effect to the people that are around you. And that is this power of the sexual energy, and that is what happens when we have this afterglow after lovemaking, and we literally uplift people around us. So you getting in touch with your sexual energy is not just for you. It actually creates, like, if you live with more people, or you live with your partner, or maybe you live in a community, like, or you go to work, like, it creates a ripple effect outward. That's the power that you have with your sexual energy. And that is what I invite you to connect so much more with, because often that afterglow can release. You know, we let it go. It's like, okay, it was there, but what if we can tap into that more and more often? And that happens when we are more sexually open, when we are more sexually empowered, when we are in touch with our orgasms and with our pleasures, and we can hold on to that energy. Because often what happens is, right now we are not trained how to keep connected to that sexual energy. It's like, oh, there's this moment, there's this experience, and it happened, but nobody gave us the tools. Okay, how do we stay connected with that energy? How do we not rely on just that moment with our partner? Or maybe it's even after like a self-pleasuring session. Like today, it was all self-pleasuring. So I'm walking out of the session like, oof, I'm having this glow because I pleasured myself. But how can we keep that energy flowing? Because this afterglow shows us the power of the sexual energy, and also the power that it can unblock so many areas in our life, and that it can influence so many other areas of our life. When we connect with our sexual energy in a way that becomes very intimate with ourselves, it radiates out to all the areas of our life, to our work, to even our income, to the amount of creativity that moves through us, to the intimate connections that we have with like our friends and the people around us. And we uplift them. So it's like we're doing a service to the world by having amazing sex. Isn't that one of the best things we can do? Because as you can see from that afterglow and the effect that it gives, it ripples out. What would happen if we put like 25 women in a group and they all had amazing sex, and we put them in the middle of like a big social gathering? They would attract all the attention. People would look and be like, who are those women? They have something that I want. Because that's what happens with this after sex glow. It's like you attract attention, but in a way that is like curious. It's like, what do these women have? I want some of that. And this is something that is often it's taken for granted. It's like, oh yeah, this is afterglow and then it disappears. No, what if we can keep, sorry, I'm losing my words, that's my excitement. What if we can become the master of the sexual energy? What if we can be so in touch with our bodies that we control it, that we can even call that in any moment that we want because of this connection with the sexual energy? And I'm sharing this because I've already seen this amazing women that have worked with me in the past, that are working with me currently. They are all able to tap into that, into this like empowerment. Something shifts because we become a master of a sexual energy. We're not depending on anybody else anymore. It's not like, oh, I'm putting the pleasure or the I can't find the word, the responsibility for the pleasure in the hand of the person that I'm with. No, I'm so in touch with my energy, and from here I share. So this is something that you love, that you want. I'm going to be sharing more about this because I think it's so many women don't realize the power of the sexual energy and how it literally and directly influences our happiness in everyday life, how it influences our health and our well-being. I'm coming from a background of studying integrative nutrition. I'm coming from the background of a health coach. And from my study, we didn't just look at nutrition that we take in terms of our body, but we looked at what is everything that is nurturing us. And that is important for us to feel healthy, fit, and happy in our body. And before food, it would be our spirituality, our sport, our relationships, and our sexuality. If we are happy with the work and the community that we have around us. So 5 aspects. And I dove deeply into, spirituality, relationships, and sexuality, because these 2 aspects are crucial for our well-being and for our health. And this is why I love how this After Sex from Glow is just proving that it immediately boosts our health, it boosts our happiness, it boosts our immune system, it boosts our hormones. So having good sex is super important for your health and your well-being. You can eat as many avocados as you want, but if you're unhappy in your relationships or with your sexuality or not deeply connected with spirituality, this is such a greater effect. So if you're curious about wanting to be more in touch with your body and with this empowerment, I'm inviting you to join, because I'm going so much deeper into this in the Sexual Initiators training. And an amazing group of women have already said yes to this. And today the price goes up. So if you want to join before the price goes up, then you can do that today. And I'm super excited about the women that are joining. What I love is that they all have done a big part of their inner work already. I tend to attract more advanced women. And with that, I point to women that have already done their inner work, women that have done personal work. They looked into their shadow work, they've done workshops around in different aspects of conscious and spirituality. But this part that's been missing, that I never went fully and deeply into, is sexuality. And this is a type of group that has come together. Women that have done their inner work. They are connected also with spirituality, because that's a big part of my work, is bringing in that tantric perspective. But that part that has been missing out and they never went into is sexuality. So these are the type of women that came together. And if you fit that, if you feel like, that is me, if you're the right fit, send me a DM. Let me have a talk with you. See if you fit the program and the group, and I can help you. And I would absolutely love for you to join and to be with us and to make this sex afterglow something that you can tap into like every time. That's not depending on having a good lovemaking session or not, because you are connected to the sexual power. And women that are sexually empowered, they have a certain glow over them. They have a certain energy that just radiates, that like initiates other women. This is why this program is called the Sexual Initiators, because you are not only initiating yourself by your energy and by your empowerment, you are going to initiate other women around you. And they will grow because you've done this. You're going to initiate your partner, and they are going to benefit because you are doing this work. Ultimately, your children are going to benefit from this because they have a mother that is so much in her power, that doesn't teach them to be ashamed and guilt when it comes to expressing their sexuality. So this is my invitation for you to join us, to be with us. As I said, price is going up at midnight European time tonight. If you're watching the replay and it's after that, don't worry, you can still sign up. The program is starting next week. So yeah, this is my invitation, and I also invite you to take from this video, can I tap back into that afterglow of sexuality? Just to take this moment, can I close my eyes and think about the last amazing lovemaking session that I had, and can I feel that energy back into my body? In this program, I'm going to share a lot of techniques and tools and concepts and inspiration, but we're also really going to drop into the body. So I'm going to invite you, can you drop into your body? Close your eyes for a moment so that you have a little bit of an experience of what that can mean. Close your eyes. Drop into your body. Bring all your awareness down into your yoni and pick up that memory of this last super sexy, hot lovemaking that you had. And see if you can bring these sensations back into your body. And this can feel like so yummy and so, the body can even like start to generate heat or tingling sensation. But bring that experience of your last super juicy lovemaking session. And if that's been a while, then just imagine it. Imagine, visualize it, let it happen right now, this super juicy lovemaking session. Imagine that you're deeply in touch with your pleasure. Orgasm comes easy to you. You feel energy is flowing. You feel that your heart is open. You feel empowered. You feel confident. Oh, and you feel all of these super yummy sensations in your body, in your yoni. And these like waves are moving through your body. And take a moment. How would that feel? If you can tap fully back into that right now with your eyes closed, with yourself fully connected. Because that's what sexually empowered women do. They can tap fully back into their body in any given moment they are connected, not depending on their partner. So do that. Take this with you. It's a beautiful exercise that you can start to do. Practice with it, because in Tantra there's a lot of like visualization and using the power of the mind, because often in lovemaking our mind actually distracts us, but from the tantric teachings we learn to use the mind as a tool to feel more pleasure. So I'm going much more deeply into that in the Sexual Initiators training, so that you don't feel like, oh, you know, during lovemaking I'm so much in my head, I don't feel so much pleasure, I'm making to-do lists in my mind, I can't actually really stay present, I feel kind of blocked intimacy. So instead of thinking that, oh no, I need to calm the mind, I need to still the mind, no, we need to use the mind. And you'll learn all of that and so much more in the Sexual Initiators training. So this is my invitation. I'm gonna send you big love from my space, and just an amazing thank you for the trust of the beautiful group of women that already signed up, and having all your names here in this beautiful basket to welcoming you in this space. So you're on my altar, and I'm lighting candles for you every day, that you may have the results and the benefit that it gave to all the previous women that joined. So much love.